Under the same moon, we share the love, embracing the differences like hand in glove. Spreading peace and joy, it's a beautiful sight. Together we shine in each other's light. And now do we stand in love's pure might, watching the world share in love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony painting the night. Now do we stand in love's pure might.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Watching the World. We have quite the show tonight. We have on Mama Flips. We're going to be talking about a lot of subjects I know you guys want to hear about. Did you hear that Kelsey Fitzsimmons was found not guilty? What a verdict, right? Are you shocked by that? Were you expecting her to lose, or did it fall the way you thought it would happen? Today I was in court with Nicolás Maduro, so we're going to talk about that. We have some updates when it comes to Nancy Guthrie. We have the war in Iran and so much more, especially when it comes to the economy. A lot of people are trying to figure out what's going to happen next, right? How are they going to survive? Let's bring on Mama Flips. And as you come in, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Mama Flips, how are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Not bad. So tell me, what's happening? What do you think in regards to this Kelsey Fitzsimmons winning? Were you happy? Were you
I'm
rooting
actually
for?
I'm actually very happy. And the funny thing is that when it comes to our everyone that is not my skin color, I do a background on them and see where they vote. And I
Mm,
couldn't find anything about her voting patterns and stuff like that because I wanted to see what her thoughts were when it comes to policing, right? And to me, it seems like the more far right you are, the more you believe in police, a certain type of policing, the practices, right? So I'm like, so I wanted to find out what her thoughts were because her I think her what she was a police officer, and I'm not sure if her fiance was also a police officer, but all the guys, the people that pew pewed her was actually fellow officers of her camp, right? And they all now against her. So I wanted to see if it was the FAFO scenario, like she finally came to the realization that the people that she thought that she either voted for or supported never had her back. So that's what I found. So I didn't find out anything about her, but I was happy that she won. And the reason why I was happy that she won is because of the fact, first of all, I think the officers was out of line, especially when they were like telling her to stop, right? There was a part in the hearing where it was like the officer was like, stop, what's her name? Kelsey? Stop, Kelsey, right? And the way they or no Kelsey or something like that, the phrase doesn't represent to me as if the cop was in fear of their life because you don't really say it in that way. So I believe the defense when they were like, okay, she was about to do something to herself, and they stopped it and they panicked, right? So that's one thing. Second thing is that I realized that they were trying to take her child away from her and she was going through postpartum. Now, anyone who have children, and I have two sons of my own, knows how it is after you have a kid, right? So she had my empathy there, right? She had my empathy there. So, and then they took her child away from her. And I was like, oh, hell no. So the more I heard about her story, the more empathetic I was, but also because I have officers in my family, and my son is a former correction officer. I do respect their role, but I think that officers just go way too far. They go way too far. They make these judgments and stuff like that. They don't know how to de-escalate situations. They do all this, and they finally got their come ups. They finally got what they deserve, in my opinion, because she just proved that they were lying, and I'm just happy about that. I'm just happy
yeah,
about that.
The other day, Jay Cat and also Anderson, some others predicted that she would be found not guilty.
Oh, good.
So we have some sharp people here watching and tuning in. So we'll see what happens on the next one if we can keep the record going.
Can you tell me why did they feel that she was not guilty? I felt that she was not guilty based on the answers when I was, because I was only able to watch it for a short time. Based on the answers that was being given by the officers, I'm like, okay, this doesn't align. And I thought the defense was doing a really great job and bringing out all the inconsistency, right? So that's why. So I had a feeling that, okay, yeah, this is not working. Also, my biggest thing with her is the fact that she didn't ask for a juror, and I thought that was amazing that she didn't ask for a juror. She wanted a judge, because I know, I said, it depending on what town she is, because I think she's in Florida, right? There's a huge group of Make America Great voters and police officers. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to our YT personnel, people, especially when they vote for Trump and they MAGA, they're more inclined to believe police officers than anybody else. So I think that she knew where she lived and where she was in the space that she was in. And I think she made an amazing, and her lawyer made amazing determination to go with the judge. So once I saw that and I couldn't find anything else about her, I'm like, okay, girl, okay, I can work with you. You know what I mean? And then that's where I'm at. So I'm very happy for her. I hope that she was able to get the help that she needs, and that she able to get her son, because I think her son is 9 months old, so she may have been over the PTSD now, and hopefully she'll be able. I think the judge said she could get her own apartment, and she could now apply for her son now to get her son back. So I hope that happens, and she could just move on, and just realize that she has to be very careful who she's with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think she should be able to get her job back at some point?
No, I don't think she should work there. I think she should be able to become a police officer if that's what she so choose. But I think that she needs to move out of the area. The thing is, she has to decide, because when you have a kid with I'm sure he's going to prevent her from moving. So she's going to be in the area, but I don't think she should go back to that office. They're not going to have her back. They're going to put her in danger. You understand what I'm saying? Because they definitely match. She went against the whole office, even though she didn't intend to. She didn't intend to. That wasn't her role. They actually went against her, and they don't want to backstab her, right? Because they don't want to accuse her of trying to unalive them when they know it's a lie. And they all fall behind that, and they helped get her child away from her. So I wouldn't even go back to them, because she's going to be ostracized. She's not going to be safe with them. I think if she wants to do something and she wants to be an officer, she may go to another area in Florida and stuff like that. So that's what I think. But yeah, I don't feel comfortable with her. I don't know her at all, but I hope she doesn't go back, because they're gonna be gunning because she embarrassed them.
You think her looks had something to do with her winning?
No, I don't think so, because there is. I don't think so. I mean, I don't. I mean, I think if she was a black female, they would have found her guilty. That's just how I feel. Okay, I'm sorry. So,
Oh boy.
I think if she was a black female, they would have found her guilty. Period. That's the way I stand on it. But is the judge was more empathetic with her because of the way she looked? If it wasn't with
She was a very
if it wasn't
very attractive. She's very attractive.
I saw it. She's a
very pretty girl.
pretty
Very
woman.
pretty, yeah.
We shouldn't say girl. She's a very pretty woman. But the thing is, if it wasn't against officers, I would have said, okay, her beautiful, her beauty, her blonde hair, because she's blonde, blue eyes, probably got over, right? But they're going the judge is going against police officers. You understand what I'm saying? And it's very rare that a judge will go against police officers. No matter how good looking you are, how pretty, that's going to go against his numbers. He is, unless he's a judge from out of the area, unless they moved it. Did they move the trial from her jurisdiction and move it to another alternate?
No, it was out in Massachusetts, right there.
All right. So it's not even Florida. So it's in Massachusetts. What I think it was a Florida thing.
Yeah, because I was gonna go there. I was gonna drive there, but
I thought, why did I think it was Florida? So okay, it's even worse. So in Massachusetts, right? The judge, it's a political position. So the judge now went against the whole department that is police officer for her. You understand what I'm saying? So judge doesn't know, even though it's not supposed to be a political position, they're supposed to go by law. We all whatever. The fact is that I think that in this case that the judge supported her is less to do with her looks and more to do with the case in hand, in my opinion. Because I don't think the judge would have gone against the police officers association, especially since the whole department was suing. Not, you understand, because of her looks. I don't think so. I think there was more to it than that.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the expression "sue your pants off"? You ever heard that expression? I'm gonna sue
Of
your
course,
pants off.
I so hope she sues them to oblivion. She needs to sue all including her former fiance, the police
Ooh.
officer. That because he defamed her. He went there, and he testified. Wasn't he one of the witnesses talking about
Yeah, of
what
course.
happened with the religion? He took her child. He defamed her, right? I will sue him, sue the family, sue the mama, sue the police officers separately. Not only the police officers that's unalive, even though I have to give them some
Ooh.
credit, right? They did, according to my understanding, they did provide CPR to her to maintain, to stop the bleeding. So they did provide her care. If it was a black woman, they would have left her bleeding right there on the bed, in my opinion. But at least they had some sense of, like, oh my God, let's save her, right? So I don't know if she would have been alive if they were like walked away, right? So I got to give them that. But she needs to sue them. She needs to sue the hell out of them, all of them, all of them. I need my money. I need my money. Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like she was actually telling the truth, that she was actually targeting herself?
I
Or
think
do you think she just came up with that story, but she really was going after them?
I think if she was actually going after them, then she would have had it in her hand. She would have had, according to my understanding, based on what I heard from you, I could have been wrong. She said that all the weapons was in the basement, and then she had the service next to her, right? And then she reached to grab it, right? If she had the intent of unaliving the officers, she would have actually had the service weapon in her hand as they walked in, and was not going to give them any room to actually pew pew her. You understand what I'm saying? She would have gone down with glory, because there's a saying that is that police, when somebody don't want to unalive themselves, they have police unalivement. You understand what I'm saying? Police unalivement. So she could have set it up that as soon as they walk in, they would have seen her with the pew pew, and they would have took her out, because that's what she planned. I don't think any of this was planned by her. I think that she panicked. She was upset about what happened. It wasn't her hand. They say she reached out. They allowed her to reach for it and bring it, and allowed it when it was going off. There was a first click, and it didn't. It nothing happened. And then after that, they saw her, and they pew pewed her, and that's when the second clip. I don't think that's how it works in real life. I think if she wanted to unalive them, she would have been prepared for it. They wouldn't have been able to get hurt. That's my 2 cents. So
All right.
I think she was telling the truth myself. But again, I didn't hear the whole testimony. Now that I know she found not guilty, I'm going to go back and listen, because I'm interested in listening to the whole case. Because you the one that actually brought the case to me. I didn't even know there was such a case, to be honest with you, until
Yeah, I
I
think I
covered it.
brought the case to a lot of people actually.
Yeah, I did not realize it was. I was like, really, you there, and you listen to you doing this? That it was amazing. I'm like, wow. So I think that's what it was. But yeah, I just
But I
think,
had a team of people watching with me. I had Jake Cat, I had Jeff with me, also Anderson, and so many more,
yeah.
Claire, and so forth. So it was nice to watch the trial. We had a regular crew. The only thing is, today I had Maduro, Nicolás Maduro. I was in court with him.
Yeah, I
So that
didn't
was exciting to be there today. It wasn't as many people as was there on the first court appearance,
know.
but it was packed. For the most part, the prosecution does not want Venezuela because they want to pay the legal fees and give him some serious representation. But the
Okay.
prosecution is saying no, those funds are tainted, you know? So you have to use untainted funds or use funds that can be verified here in the United States of America.
And
So,
how is he? Pray tell, is he supposed to do that when he's the president of Venezuela and all his money's in Venezuela? So how is he
right.
supposed to pay for money in America when he's not American? He's from Venezuela. What are we talking about? So he's
It
not.
was actually it was
He's not.
actually Barack Obama. it came out in court. It was Barack Obama that set all of these different parameters because Venezuela was committing all these crimes against humans and human rights and all of that. So Barack Obama pretty much set all of this in action. So the judge was
Oh,
trying to break it down and say, listen, the guy has been arrested. He's here now. So
mhm.
all of those charges and all of those sanctions that came along with it are no longer valid. So in the United States, he's entitled to good representation, right?
Yes.
According to the Constitution. But
Mhm.
every time the prosecution would come back and say, no, he don't deserve it, he needs a public defender, and then the defense attorney would say, well, the public defender is only for people who can't afford. In
Mhm.
this particular case, he can afford an attorney, and
Mhm.
also Venezuela wants to cover him. So it was a going back and forth all day, typically for that one point. And I think the defense wanted to quit if they can't get into that Venezuelan money. They want that Venezuelan money. They don't want that public
Well,
defender money.
obviously, I mean, obviously, all the lawyers is going to want to get paid, but I like the way how you just drag in former President Obama into this situation, as you do on several occasions. I'm noticing that you like to send out these different little, issues so I could lose my temper. I noticed that. I applaud you. I applaud you because that's
But
your
wait a
thing.
minute, that was in court. That was in court today. What do you
Okay,
mean?
I like it. So here's the thing about former President Obama, right? So if former President Obama is the reason why we're here, then why didn't former President Obama go into Venezuela and grab the former current living president and drag them into the United States?
Hmm. I don't think he wanted to do it. I think that was Donald Trump's thing.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever President Obama implemented, there is such a thing called sovereignty when it comes to leaders of certain countries, right? If they are a sitting president, you're not supposed to nap them out of their country and drag them to the United States of America. You see, most people, they wait when they're not in office, right? Because even in the United States of America, apparently Donald Trump could get away with everything because he's the sitting president and DOJ have policies, right? So we can't arrest this motherfucker with everything he did because he's sitting the current presidency, but he could go drag the president of Venezuela to the United States. That's what I don't understand. So I don't understand why you had to bring this up so you can stress my nerve. That's all. But I love you.
No, no,
I
I'm
love you.
telling you.
I love you
uh,
though.
I'm
We're trying to
simply telling you about court. I'm telling you about court today, and
so
you
you
went
had
on
to
a.
bring Barack Obama into the situation though,
But
right?
but they talked about. That's what
Okay.
they talked about. Barack Obama today. So what did you want me to do? Talk about Biden?
But I just want to make sure that we understand. No matter what rule Barack Obama implemented, it's not applicable today, right? Because no matter what Barack Obama implemented, the fact of the matter is he's in America and he is supposed to have under the Constitution, right, legal representation. If that means that his money is in Venezuela, then we need to get his money out of Venezuela and pay for his lawyers. Like, what are we doing now? All of a sudden, you want to undermine the Constitution because you want this man to be under the jail because Donald Trump said so. And then now, who Donald Trump has nothing good about to say about Barack Obama. Nobody. Everything Barack Obama has ever done is nothing but trash, right? But yet they want to bring the fact that Barack Obama implemented back in the day, and they want to use it to disrespect the Constitution and undermine this man trial. If they had
Oh my
such a legal
goodness!
case,
Oh my
now
God!
if they had such a legal case, if they had a clear case against this former president, because I believe currently he's former president right now because of the fact that they had to bring in a new president because he's here. If they had such a case, why are they afraid with him using the money to get a proper representation? If they had a clear case,
Right,
why didn't
right.
run?
So Jeff, I want to say hello to your
Sure, buddy.
family. Give your family my regards, definitely. Now let's get back to, and also D Cran and Billy, guys, welcome into the chat as well. Lisa's here. So many amazing people. Freedom Eagle, shout out. So
Hi, everybody. Thank you
the
for coming
the
in.
judge actually went along with you. You must like Barack Obama, I take it, right?
Sorry.
You must really like Barack Obama, right?
Yes, I like most of my presidents. Yes,
Do
I
you
like
like do you
president.
like Barack Obama more than you like President Trump?
I don't like President Trump, so there's no comparison. We can't comparison somebody I love and like to and respect to somebody I don't like.
If
That's no
if
comparison.
if Iran is coming and blazing and dropping those mighty
And
explosives,
it would be Trump fault.
if you had to choose between Trump and Barack Obama, who you think would hold a steady hand more?
Definitely Barack Obama. Are you seriously having this conversation with me? You think that this man actually went into Iran because he felt that America was in jeopardy?
No, 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 no. Now you're going off. You're going off the trail. Let's stay logical
I'm
and
trying to
answer
stay in a track. You just
and
went left
answer.
on
No, no,
me.
no, no. I
You went
asked
right
you.
on me.
I
I'm
asked you a
sorry.
question. I didn't talk about all of that. I'm just saying, if you had to choose, they were coming here after us, right?
Were they?
Who would you rather have, Barack Obama or President Trump?
I would have Barack Obama on anything, any day of the world than
I
Donald
guess
Trump.
we would
Any day.
say
But
we
with
would.
that said, were they coming to the United States of America to attack us for us to be where we are today?
No, that's a whole separate. We're using an illustration here.
I
You're
am.
trying to turn it into a whole different conversation.
I'm
I'm just trying
saying
to.
that
I'm
Barack
trying
Obama.
to. Right now, we're
Look,
focusing on
Barack
who
Obama.
would you choose,
Barack
Barack
Obama.
Obama?
Any day
Oh,
of the
okay,
week on any
okay.
subject.
And
On any,
why? What's your reasoning behind that?
because Barack Obama is a better man than Donald Trump. He's a better man. He's a better human being. He's more intelligent. You understand what I'm saying? He has a better characteristic. He's more honorable. You understand? He's not a snake. He's not a predator. There's a lot of stuff behind Barack Obama that Trump will never be in real life. But the MAGA voted for him, so we got to respect our white brothers and sisters. And our Latinos. You guys did that, so something. Congratulations. So we got to respect the choice, right? That's what do their choice. We got to respect the choice. But yeah, Barack Obama can't hold a candle. I mean, I'm sorry, Trump can't hold a candle to Barack Obama. Not even
Okay,
a little, not even a little not even a little light.
okay. I figured you were going to choose.
And that's not even talking about the family, man, the respect that he had for his wife and stuff like that, and Michelle and his children and stuff like that. He held echo. There haven't been one incident where there's multiple incidents about what this slimy, scammy, unfaithful dog Donald Trump was with to all his wives. But let's not talk about that.
Right. Okay. All right. So you really don't like the president. I get it. I
Yeah,
understand that.
he's not my president. I don't acknowledge him as president. He's just Trump, Donald Trump.
But I thought you said if he gave you $2,000, you would like him.
I didn't say I like him. I said I will say something positive. You asked me, is there anything positive you could say about Donald Trump? And I said that once he give me my $2,000, I will come in here and say, hey, I got my $2,000. I could say that would be a positive statement. I don't mind saying that. But I'm not gonna. That doesn't change my feelings towards him or how I think about it. I'm just gonna, just like any criminal. Like they used to say, the best thing you could say about the devil is he was an angel at one
Okay.
time. So that's the
Okay.
same thing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the devil, right? So if he does something that benefits my life, I will say that he benefit my life, but he's still the devil.
Okay. All right. Mark says he wasn't fairly elected president of Venezuela, anyways.
The fact of the matter is that whether he was fairly elected as president, he was the president, right? And there is sovereignty. You cannot go to another country. It is clearly understood because a lot of people could say that Donald Trump is not the duly elected president, right? Anybody could come and drag his ass out of the United States with a bunch of crimes, but people don't do that for any of the presidents, right? Because there's such a thing because of sovereignty. You cannot attack another leader of a country. What you could do is you could wait until they either lose office or in some cases people has been known to take care of them in their own country. But you don't go pick up an active president, drag them and their family and their wife to the United States and say, hey, hello, we're going to hold a hearing.
I have to catch you on your words because you say a lot of stuff that I have to flag you.
Catch me, catch
What
me.
do you mean by the president is not legitimate. He won the presidency. What are you talking about?
I'm saying a lot of former leaders could say that Donald Trump is not the legitimate president.
How so? Explain. He won.
Because first of all, he shouldn't have run for president any which way because he's a criminal, he's a felon, right? He shouldn't have even been able to run for office at all. So a lot of people, a lot of other leaders could be like, look at this shit. Look at this shit right here. Look at what he's been caught doing. Just like because that's exactly what they're saying about Maduro, right? Like he has committed a bunch of crimes, right? So he feels that he needs to pick him out of his country and drag him to the United States. What I'm saying, another leader could look at all the felonies because he was found guilty of 34th felony and say that he's illegitimate because he's a criminal, and we're gonna do the American people a favor. And I promise you, a lot of us would probably be like this. Thank you very much. Just like some of the Venezuelan people, they could pick his ass up and drag them to the country and then actually put him on trial. They could do the same thing. But then a lot of us would be like, no, that's not fair because he has sovereignty because he holds the title, right? And you can't do that. You see, that's what it was understood among all of them. But now he changed the rules. So if somebody come here and pick his ass up and drag them to his country to hold a trial, there's not much we could do about it because he's the one that set up the president.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I actually, I attended Donald Trump's trial, right?
Yes, you did.
A lot of people felt like it was a kangaroo court.
It was
What
not.
do you say about that?
It wasn't.
How was it? How was it legitimate?
Did we have a 12?
Those 34
Did we have a 12 person?
charges.
Did we have a 12-person jurors?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. And I'm sure that there were because some of the jurors, I think they came out being a couple of them, I think maybe one or two felt that they were based on what we hear, because we hear things in New York, right? I think some may not have wanted to find him guilty. All right. The same thing with the Giuliani hearing. Some of them did not want to find Giuliani because they love the guy. But the fact is that there is such a thing as evidence and paperwork, right, that proved that he was guilty, right? And they found him guilty. So that's what it is. So whatever anybody said, you see, the whole kangaroo court is not what I feel MAGA is saying, in my opinion. Whenever you bring MAGA to the forefront and you start saying, okay, this is what it is. This is what you see. Here's the video. Here's the timestamp. Here's the flight log. This is Donald Trump name. You see this name right here. You see that lady figure, and he signed in front of the lady hoo-ha with his name, and he sent it to Jeffrey Epstein in his book because that was his boy, that was his friend. You see, what MAGA people do is that they say it's not a big deal. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, so first is denial. But once you give proof, now it's not a big deal, right? Beforehand, being friends with Epstein was a problem. Now that Donald Trump has been found out to be friends with Epstein, even was in cahoots with Epstein, even spoke to Epstein after he was actually in jail, he was still communicating with old boy. Now it's not a problem. You see, so before he went to court, anybody who went to court and got caught up, they should have been under the jail. They should have lost their position. They shouldn't be in Congress. They shouldn't be a city councilman. The hell no should they run for president. Are you crazy? But once Donald Trump was found guilty, man, why you do my boy like that? It's not a big deal. So he did a little criming. So he did a little real estate fraud. So he's not paying his taxes. Come on, guys. I know it's because he's smart. It's because he got it like that. It's because he's so brilliant that you guys don't understand. And then it gets to jealousy. This is my favorite part. You see, we black people, we jealous of all our white tea brothers and sisters, and we are jealous of Donald Trump. So we are hating on him because we're so jealous because we can't get away with it.
What charges? Let me ask you this: what was he guilty of? Does anybody know what the president did wrong?
He was guilty of real estate fraud, real estate fraud. Meaning, in my opinion, the reason I say it's real estate is because, in my opinion, I'm telling you,
that's not it. I was at the trial. That was not it.
Can I tell you my opinion? The reason why I say, when I say real estate, I don't mean actual real estate. I'm talking about the fact is that he was lying about the square feet of his property, right, in order to Get
Wrong case. That's the
okay.
wrong case.
Oh,
Wrong case.
okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're talking about a civil case that Letitia James brought on, right? That's
Okay. I'm talking
different.
about the Letitia
I'm
James.
talking about the official 34 felonies that you said would inhibit him from serving as the president of the United States of America, home of the brave.
So we're not talking about the Jean Carroll, and we're not talking about the
No,
Letitia
no,
James case.
none of that has to do with 34 felonies. And so therein lies the problem because they're saying his
I don't.
charges were
I don't,
trumped. His
I don't believe
charges
you.
were trumped
I
up.
love you, bro, but I gotta look into this because
All
because
right, do
you
your
tell
homework. You know,
it's not. All right,
I
but go
sit
ahead,
in.
finish.
No, we can move on. I mean, you can look that
No, no,
up,
no.
and then
I
we
want
could
to
come
see.
back to it. But here's the thing: everybody's saying Donald Trump was charged with charges, but nobody can tell you what the
Mhm.
charges were. That's the weird part about it. You know what I mean? Um, so anyway, we'll get back to that. Let's keep moving,
Let's
and
keep moving.
when you feel like you're ready to talk about it, we'll go back to it. What do you think? Let's talk
So you
about.
mean to tell me? Hold on. The falsification of the falsification. I mean, we already know about the hush money of Stormy Daniels. I already know about the hush case with her because they felt that he paid $130 to Stormy Daniels and stuff like that. So I already know about the thing. So you saying the falsification of the business records and stuff like that had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that he
What
was
you just
lying
said?
about
What
the office. So you said that had nothing. That wasn't part of the case whatsoever. You're saying no.
God bless America.
I'm
So
asking. So that you're saying that's
no, I just told you that no.
okay.
But what you just said about Stormy Daniels, that's what's associated with the 34 charges. So you were right on it. You were getting warm, but then you went cold again. So anyway, I'll let you research it and then we'll
No,
talk
no,
about it.
I already found it. So okay, all right then, because I thought, then okay, then I stand corrected. I stand corrected because I know about the Tish James. Obviously, he's from New York, right? But I could have sworn, I could
That
have
was the
sworn.
case that's the case on the millions that he had a hard time, getting the money together for.
No,
That's
but
that
he
case.
apparently he don't have to right now. He doesn't have to pay it, so he's gonna probably get away with it. He's probably gonna unalive before he pay a dime for anything. So I know that it had to do with Stormy, and I also know it had to do with the lawyer Cohn, who's in trouble now because of Epstein. I understand that, but you're telling me during that case, none of the information as far as his taxes, because Mary, his niece, as a result of this case, we were able to find out some of his taxes, his tax information. You mean none of that came out in this particular case whatsoever? I got it completely.
That wasn't the main point of
No,
contention.
it's not. No,
No.
I understand it's not the main point. I'm asking you, did any of this came out in this case?
Not while I was there, no.
Okay, all right, okay
No,
then.
this is all about the transaction involving Stormy Daniels. She actually came to court and
No, I know. I
testified
was.
and
I
all
was.
of that. So
I
that's
was
what this case is about. But
okay.
even to be able to have anyone articulate what he did wrong, it's like with Diddy, right? If I ask you, what did Diddy
Oh, I
do
can tell
wrong?
you everything about Diddy, so don't
You
even
could
go there. Don't
see
even.
what I'm
If you
saying?
want to talk about what I
But,
think
but
about Diddy,
no,
that's
no,
another
no. But you're
conversation.
making
I can tell you about Diddy.
hold on. You're making my point. That's my whole point.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now with this,
You can break down
oh, I
Diddy
can
with
break down
no
Diddy.
problems,
I didn't
but
go to this trial. I didn't go to Trump
he
trial.
and
I
I'm
didn't go
not
to this
taking up.
trial.
Hold on, I'm not taking up for the president
Oh
or
no, you can
anybody
take
else.
up, man.
But what I'm saying is this:
Taking up for.
everybody hear what
But
they
I
want to hear, and then
warned.
they hold on. Then
And
they run with it and say, "Oh, he did this and this and this," and they don't even know what the real deal is for the case, and that's where it gets a little bit dangerous. It's not just about the President Trump; it's about anybody. See what I'm saying?
I'm glad. I'm glad that you. I'm glad that you said that. Cause okay, first record contrary to okay. Contrary to
But
suggestion.
yeah, but I'll let you research that. Let's keep moving for the sake of time.
Okay. Invoice.
What do you think in regards to the economy right now? Do you think it's just a temporary thing, or do you think it's going to be long lasting?
Which one? I'm sorry. The economy.
The economy, yes.
The economy is going to be devastated until Donald Trump is out of here.
Okay, give us a valid argument as to why you think so.
Because Donald Trump doesn't know what the heck he's doing. Everything that he's doing is leading to it. increase of groceries leading to the increase of gas. Everybody's feeling it. He's not doing anything to remove the pain of the American people. This is what he said that he was going to do, and he hasn't done it. I mean, all we have to do is just live through it to see exactly what is being impacted. Now, again, my mega brothers and sisters, they believe that this is temporary and that everything he's doing at the end is going to benefit us, right? And then at the end of the day, they're going to be able to pat themselves in the back and say, hey, we told you so, right? That's what they believe. But as far as the rest of us concerned, it's just going to go, he's just going to take us to hell.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it's just going to get worse. I think it's going to get worse and stuff like that until he's no longer in office.
The president says this is just an excursion, just a temporary deal.
Yeah, and then I just heard that he put more soldiers on the ground. He sent more soldiers over there to put them on the ground. So yeah. So
Absolutely.
so if more soldiers is going there, how is it temporary?
Right. Do you feel like the troops should have been from Israel first before the American troops went in?
I don't think we should have been there. I want to be very careful when we talk about Israel and the Jewish people because there is such an explosive topic, right? Because once you start talking Israel and start blaming Israel, you turn a large portion of the Jewish people who believed in Israel and believe in their right, the Jewish people, and believe in their right to be in Israel, right? So yeah, you want to be very careful because I don't try to have that conversation because I'm not Jewish and I'm not Middle Eastern, I'm not Asian Indian, I'm not um, 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 uh, Gaza, Palestine. I don't have that conversation. So, I want to be very careful, uh, because I don't know if Donald Trump went into this war because of Israel. That's what's being said. I think Donald Trump went into this war because he wanted oil. I think Donald Trump believed that Israel is a good partner because it benefit him at the end of the day. I think Donald Trump wants Gaza. He wants to get rid of all the people so he could build his tower. He could build a resort so he could be a billionaire. He wants to be able to create a legacy that people could remember. What he don't understand is once he's unalive, all of us is going to tear down everything that ever had his name, and his name is going to be aligned with Adolf. That's how I feel. And Nixon. That's how I feel. The history book is not going to look very kindly on Donald Trump or the MAGA community whatsoever. However, they don't believe that, right? They believe that he's there to do everything that he can for the American people, and I think it's BS, right? So I don't think, in my opinion, seeing what I'm seeing, I don't think that Donald Trump is manipulated by Israel, like a lot of people saying, "Oh, poor Donald Trump, he's being." No, I think that he knows exactly what he want to do, right? Just like he knew exactly what he was doing when it came to Russia, just like he knew exactly what he's doing when it came to China. Whatever's going to make him money or make him feel like he's the big man of the town is what he's going to do, right? So to answer your question, yeah, Israel should have done what. Answer your question is that I don't know what Israel should have done, but I know that Donald Trump is sending troops in because he believed that's the best way for him to get the oil in Iran. That's what I believe.
Okay. So we have a lot of people here tonight. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate each
I
and
don't
every
care
one
about
of
other
you
people's
so much.
diversity, and it's Mama Flip, Amanda, 7. I don't care about other people's diversity. Let me explain what the diversity is. The diversity is Black woman in Brooklyn, New York. That's my diversity I care about. You guys care about y'all diversity because y'all don't want to put Donald Trump in office. You care about y'all diversity because apparently y'all don't care about the diversity of the Black person. That's why y'all put Donald Trump back in the office. So I don't need to care about y'all. I need to care about me and mine. I just want to make sure that you understand that because I hate when people come into the conversation and not know where I stand. If you've been watching me for a long time, you should have known where I stand on that. So my concern is not your diversity. It doesn't matter. It's sad. I feel bad that you feel sad about what I'm about to tell you. So let me keep it 100%. You see, Black folks is underappreciated, underrespected, and been dragged for many years, right? We are now in a position now where we have no control of anything, right? You guys proved your point. Congratulations. So we are just surviving. So my concern, and that don't mean that I don't love all people. I love all people. I have friends. I don't have to say what I have to say. You know what I'm saying? I have friends all over the place. So it's not that I don't love people. I just know that where I'm at in the real life is that I need to protect me and mine. You guys got it. You don't need us to care about y'all. To be honest with you, why should I worry about y'all when you guys run the world? Like, let me explain again. You got Congress, you got the House of Representatives and the Senate, you got the Supreme Court, you got the White House. What the hell do I need to worry about y'all and y'all diversity, ma'am or sir, when you running shit, right? We need to worry about ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? We need to care for ourselves. So thank you for your comment. Go ahead. Sorry, Mel. I just saw a comment and I felt bad for the person because they don't understand where I'm coming from. So I just had to explain,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like you're still a strong leaning Democrat, or as many in the audience is saying, you're a leftist.
No, I'm not a leftist. I'm not a progressive because I would never have fought, even though I love Kamala Harris and I felt that Kamala Harris should have been given the time to run for the presidency. I would have never pushed out former President Biden. I never advocate for us to push out former President Biden because he was too old to run. I thought that was a ridiculous statement. I said, you have this old ass Republican guy who could barely walk down some stairs, who's wearing a pamper, right? Who's smelling himself and falling asleep at meetings, right? Who is a 34 convicted felon, who is a predator, right? Who has done horrible things to women. And you want me to say, oh, we should not allow former President Biden to run because he's too old. When your guy who's decrepit is as old as my guy. So I'm not a leftist. I'm not a progressive. I would have never had tried to kick former President Biden out of the race. In fact, I was very strongly for him to stay in the race because I thought that America would not have voted for a Black woman anyway, right? I love Kamala Harris, and I think she did an amazing job. That's my girl. And I rode hard for her, and I was glad that she ran. But I knew for a fact that America was not ready for a Black woman to run for office. They wouldn't even let Hillary, a white woman, run, so they really wasn't ready for Kamala. I felt that I had hope towards the end because I thought, and they lied, that our white sisters was going to be on our side, and they lied. And I thought our Latino brothers and sisters was going to be on our side, and they lied. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I did not think that it was a wise idea for Biden to drop out because American people don't want diversity in their presidency. I still thought that he had the best chance to win. And if he was going to lose, then let him lose at an even field, right? Two white old men running for presidency, not put in another factor that was just going to drag us to hell. And that's exactly what happened. So no, I'm not a progressive. I'm not a leftist. I never was. Anybody who knows me in real life and knows what I stand for knows that. What they don't like is they don't understand that Democrats are a wide variety. You understand what I'm saying? I do believe a lot of stuff that the left believes in as far as pro rights. I believe in equal rights across the gender, across the including.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Is it okay for men to be in women's sports and in women? Hold on. Wait. In women's
rights, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. And I do believe that it is right because you know why I believe it's right? It's because of the fact that what people don't want to understand and they hate is before MAGA made an issue, it wasn't an issue. And the fact is when it comes to sports, right? You in the sports is based on weight and it's based on height and it's based on body function, even as a wrestler. Right now, of course, other people will say it doesn't matter how thin a man is. A man will always be stronger than a woman, right? That's the generics that they have. But scientifically, it hasn't been proven that's the case because you have seen strong women. Because there was a wrestler that they thought was a man. I forgot the woman that actually won. She is a female. And they dragged her because they felt that she was a male and she was stronger than all men and women. And I forgot her name, but she had a strong feature and I think she's Asian Indian and stuff like that. She's Middle Eastern, but I can't remember her name. But they were saying, "Oh, that's a man, that's a man," and she wasn't. She was born a woman, but she was equally as she was stronger than all the men and the women and stuff like that. So what I'm saying,
So let me ask you a question because
I think
I
it's
know
unfair.
you're catching your wind. Do you think
It's
Clarissa Shields should be fighting someone like Floyd Mayweather?
if Carissa Fields and Floyd Mayweather had the same size, right? The same size, the same weight, right? And it was equal, then yeah, I think that they should be able to fight each other. I see it the same thing as the military, right? We have women, it's almost like you telling me, because I'm a former Marine. It's like you telling me, and not only am I a former Marine, I'm also a sharpshooter. You telling me in a time of war, because I'm a woman, I shouldn't go to the front, because that's where we're going back to. You understand that, right? That's what we're going back to. You're telling me I should not, as a woman, serve my country, right, and put my life on the line for my country because I'm a woman, right? So you're saying that's how I see it, because women are weak, right? Women are weaker than men, so we should not have men who believe that they're women, right, engaging with other women in sports because
So hold
we are
on.
women, we
So
weak.
let's take a intermission for a moment, right? Because I do this every week with you on Thursday night, right?
Yes, we do.
So let me illustrate it for you.
Okay, go ahead, please.
It might help you in some way.
Oh,
Okay.
you said, and that's another thing that dig
It,
about higher learning the other day.
no,
Do you
no. See,
honestly hold up,
see,
don't stop.
see.
I'm beginning to think that you think that you're smarter than me. Is that
Hold,
where we're going with this?
hold
Can
on.
we ask a question?
Here we go. Here we go. You see
Can
how
we
you?
ask a question? Do you think
No,
that you're more
I'm not
intelligent
answering the
than me?
question because you're way off. Now you've gone to higher learning when the words higher learning did not even come out of my mouth.
Not this time. I'm talking about when we were chatting
That's
on
what
the
I'm
chat.
talking about when we were chatting, right? I explained something, and
Yeah,
then you started going off in the chat. I said, let me explain this at a higher level
a higher level.
because
Yeah, that's the word.
because the first time the way I explained it, right,
Uh
I
huh.
had to explain it again at a higher level
Uh
because
huh.
apparently I didn't explain it properly the first time.
I thought
Now
it was
you
good that you
hold
did
on.
it.
So now you've taken that to higher learning. You see how
No,
you
I
switch
didn't. So I apologize for that. I
you change
apologize for
around
that.
the blocks. You
Yeah,
change
but
around the
higher
blocks.
level does equate to higher learning, right? It does, because if you're saying that you
So
speak
you
to
see,
somebody
that's
on a
how
higher level, that
in
means that you
court, does that
understand.
work in court? Let me ask you that. Does that
It
theory
could if it
work
was
in court? It doesn't work in
Mark
court.
Agnifilio. No, if it was Mark Agnifilio, it would have
No,
worked in court.
he's not the standard. He's not the
But
standard.
everybody's hiring him because he's changing the methods, right? He's changing the way things are thought of, right? He's using all of these
So
techniques to win.
so
So you know,
let me illustrate how you operate and maybe it'll help you, right? I
you
ask
did it again.
no, listen, it is what it is.
But go ahead. What were you saying? Give me a
I
high
ask you a question. Hold on, I ask you a
level.
question.
Mhm.
Do you think Clarissa Shields should fight Mayweather? Right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I asked that question, then I close my mouth and I sit back and I listen.
Yes.
Here's you. Oh yeah, she can fight Clarissa Fields. Oh, definitely can fight Clarissa. Oh, now you trying to say now you go to the
Of
military. Oh,
course.
women shouldn't even be in. Now you
No,
putting
I didn't say
all
that's what you're
you
saying.
put it.
In
So
my
now,
opinion, if you're saying that
but
women
you're putting it. Listen, you're putting it on me, and
of
all I did
course,
was ask you a question. You're saying, oh, now you're trying to say women
of
live
course.
and right. Now you've gone.
And
Listen,
when
if
I
I
say
don't
you, I don't mean
hold
the
on.
general you
I
male. I
know,
mean
but
you mean
if I
man.
don't say anything,
Mhm.
you would go on for a whole hour talking
Yes.
about how I am saying
Man.
that women are not equal to
Yes.
men and all that. Like
Yes.
that's insanity to me. You
No,
know what
it's
I'm saying?
not, because first of all, I'm not talking to you, Mel. I'm talking in general to your question, right? So when you ask me a
And
question, are you
one
Let me
last
ask you a
thing.
question. Are you and when
And
you ask me a question, are you asking me
and
a
when
question
you
of belief?
when you go on your tangent, you
Uh-huh.
never answer the original
But I
question.
do always, but Mel,
You
that's
ne
because you don't
you
listen. I
never.
always answer. That's not true.
So
I
now it's me.
always answer the original question with yes or no, and then I elaborate, because I said yes, I do believe so,
And
and then I
then
elaborate. You just don't like my elaboration.
you know what else you're gonna do? You're gonna say and Clarissa's and now you're gonna say and Mayweather's great grandfather was white and he's weak.
I don't go.
this is
I won't go that far yet.
you go way out
We're
there.
talking about the transgender issue. So I'm going to bring it back to the transgender issue. This is what I do, right? So I
All right.
always answer the question. If I don't answer a question, I say, well, I'm not able to answer the question because of this, and I'll tell you why. But I always give you a yes or no answer. You just don't hear me. You just zone out when I start going on my tangent, and you
So
forget
see
the
now, I'm zoning
the
out.
answer
See,
is
it's
yes.
always the next guy.
Yes. The answer is yes. Okay. But with that yes, I want to say all this other stuff. That's what it is. So when you ask
Okay.
me a question, I normally will say yes or no, or I don't feel like I'm not going to answer this question for this reason. But the answer is yes. You see, you just don't hear me the rest of it because you're like, oh, here she go again. So
No, I pay attention to what you're saying, but you
good.
put all this stuff on me when I only ask you a question that you never
Yeah.
answer.
Now
That's very
here's my
important.
question. Now, you have a
You
very I
you
did answer the
never
question.
you
Did you hear
never
me say
answer the
yes?
original
Did
question.
you hear me say yes originally before I went into my tangent? Did you hear me say yes? That I do think yes, that she should be allowed to fight Mayweather if she's the same size and she's the same size and body figured and everything like that that they need to equate them. The answer is yes. That's what I said. And then I went to a tangent. My
Okay.
question is to you now, when you ask me a question, are you asking for yourself or are you asking in general?
I'm asking in general for the
So
sake
if
of the
I'm
show,
answering you, I'm not answering you to say that male think that. I'm saying in general because of your question, I'm answering for that. So I don't want you to think that you always said that I'm coming after you. No, I'm talking about your question because I already know how you think on certain things. So I don't need to answer you directly.
okay. They call that the pigeonhole technique.
How is it? You are so funny. Like, okay, so would you like me to do things
Oh.
differently, Mel? Here's the question.
No. I wanted to tell you that to see if you could profit from it in some way, but obviously you're not.
I'm not doing what, Mel?
No, you totally cancel out anything I just said to you to try to give you a couple pointers,
What is the point
because
that you
in your mind, anyway, it's all good.
no, and no, I want you to elaborate. What pointers are you giving me?
But you take one question and you go way out here.
Yes, that's
You
what
go
a lot
from
of
New
us do.
York all the way down to
That's exactly what.
Delaware
First of all, that's
and up
exactly
through
what
West
women do.
Virginia and back to
That's what
New York.
debaters do. That's what debaters do, and that's what women do, right? That's what you do. That's what we do. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, women don't do that." That's what we do. If we want to make a point, we'll go all the way around the world to make every point we need to answer to validate our answer. That's what we do, especially black women. I don't know about my other brothers, my other sisters, but that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing is, if you don't like it, then we need to talk about that. But that's what a lot of us do. It makes people crazy. But that's what it is.
So it makes people crazy, but you still do it. Is that
Yes.
torture? Do you call that torture?
Maybe if that's what you consider it torture, but the thing is my point is my point, right? I'm not going to I could say yes or no, but then if I say yes or no, then it's going to be boring, right? Cuz I could say yes, Mel, and that's it, right? Do you like Donald Trump? No, I don't like Donald Trump. Right? Where is that going to get us on the show? You know what I mean? My job is to be who I am. A more
No,
dramatic
I'm not. I'm
version of
not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. I'm just.
but that's why that's why we're having fun. I need to be able to bring the tea and everything involved in it, in order to just show who I am as an individual.
So let's reset the show. Let's reset the show. Okay, let me do that so we can start back again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show tonight here at Watching the World 777 Thursday night with Mama Flips. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. Okay.
I
All
picked the
right.
Twilight Zone. We in Twilight Zone because of
Let's
Donald
get
Trump. Don't
it's
say
officially I'm calling this show the Twilight Zone.
okay, go ahead.
All right.
All right.
Okay. I think deep down inside you love Trump. Is
No, I
that
don't.
true?
No, I don't.
No?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And man does 7317, you begin to piss me off. So I don't know which incompetent you thought who you referring to as incompetent. Please elaborate so that you and I can have our own personal conversation. Go ahead, Mel. I'm so sorry.
Okay, all right. So let's switch up again. Let's talk about Nancy Guthrie. What's going on with Nancy Guthrie? Did you watch the videos of her daughter coming
No,
out?
I haven't watched the video of her daughter because certain things make me very sad. It's almost like, okay, I'm gonna elaborate again and piss you off. it's almost like I haven't found out the name of the two pilots that was unalive in LaGuardia. There's certain things that makes me very, very sad, and we're living in such a horrible world right now that I try to keep myself away from stuff until I get the facts, right? So listen to her, because I listened to the first video, but constantly listening to her talking about her mom, actually mom, it's just saddening me, so I don't listen to it. So I'm just waiting for the final, like what's actually happening either with the case or if they discover what's going on. But I don't want to listen to the family. It just makes me too sad. Because I'm a fellow survivor, right? You know what that means.
Yes.
Okay, so things like that, I try very hard to minimize the PTSD and the impact of these type of tragedies. So yeah,
All right.
I want to listen
So,
to the daughter. I just want to know if they find her and what's going to happen.
right. The daughter says some things, so I can break it down for you so you don't
That's
have to listen to her,
Go ahead.
in her situation. The
She said,
daughter makes some points. She says the back doors, multiple doors were propped open. What do you think that would mean?
if it was pop open, like I think we spoke about, I think it's more than one perpetrator that was there. There was no way that I believe, and I agree with you because you actually brought it to light to a lot of us, that there had to be more than one person to actually get her out of the house, right? So in order to prop the door open, you going no somebody if you're going to carry somebody, right? You're going to have two-person, and you need the door open to actually carry them out, right? So I think it would just go with your theory that there was more than one person at the house that night.
But why would they prop the door? Because if the door is unlocked, then the next person could just easily walk in, right?
No, I would figure that they would.
Usually people will prop a door that like automatically locks, right?
I don't. I didn't think about it that way. I thought that the reason why they would prop the door is to make it easier for them to go in and to take her out. Because when you prop the door open, like, are you talking about prop the door with the door still closed a little bit so it doesn't lock, or prop it open so they can walk freely out of the house? What
She
prop?
just said propped open, and she said with an S, so it seemed like it was multiple doors in the back, but you don't know. Maybe she misspoke. But they took her out of the front door, so why would they leave the back doors propped open? That's what the
Are they
question I'm asking.
sure that they took her out the front door? I mean, who said that they took her out the front door?
The blood trail. So you could actually see the blood trail of her coming out. Now they're saying there was some blood right before the front door. Then outside the front door, there's droplets of blood, and it trails all the way to the driveway, and then it stops as though she was maybe put into a vehicle, and that's why the blood went away.
So so did they come in through the front or did they come in through the back?
That's what we don't know. The sheriff has not stated. Obviously, the FBI, they don't tell you anything.
Okay. So if they prop the door, but the thing is, we saw them and we saw the perp in the front messing around with the camera. So that's what I find interesting. I would have thought that they would have propped the door to get her out and maybe come all the way around. Where the property is, they could have came all the way around to the front and
I'll
put it.
tell you. I'll,
But I'm
I'll
not.
tell you what I think.
Now I'm
I'll
not
tell
sure.
you. I'll tell you what I think happened. Right,
Hmm.
based on some of the facts that was given. I think that at 147. All right, D Cran. Thank you for your super chat. D Cran says, "I do not believe that the old lady was really kidnapped. It's all so strange and looks staged, especially the daughter's fake crying interviews." Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much for that super chat, guys. If you guys want us to read your chats, and I think that Mel and I should start implementing that, even though I read some people that piss me off. Please send us super chats so we can read your chat on live. Thank you.
Okay. So let's get into it. I think tonight we should just roll out on. I have a
What's your thoughts? You were telling me
so
what your
so
thoughts
so
were.
let me I'm gonna get to it. Let me tell you, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I have one of the top homicide experts coming on the show.
All right.
Oh my goodness, she's on Nancy Grace Court TV.
Mhm.
TMZ, and she's coming on Watching the World tomorrow. I'm so excited. It's like it's amazing, because that's
Yeah.
what she do. She's actually a homicide detective right now,
Okay.
and she's going to be on a show breaking it down tomorrow. So I get a chance to ask all these tough questions, and she's really good at it. So I'm excited. So anyway, let's get back to it. I think what happened is at 147, the guy comes up, he takes the camera.
Mhm.
Okay. I think once he takes the camera, maybe he went somewhere for a few minutes just to see if maybe some family members would come, the police would come. Because, I mean, unless you are tied into, let's say, her family members and somebody's guiding you, you don't know who's looking through the camera, right? Who has access?
Okay.
So I think when the sheriff says at 212, I think it's at 212, no, yeah, 212, that there's some motion, but it's only words. There's no video. I think at that point the person may have couldn't get it. They couldn't have access to front door, so maybe they went around to the back, and the back caught them coming in around 212, and then at 228 her pacemaker disconnects. So I think the 212, because when the sheriff talks about it at the press conference, he says they don't have video, but he says it could have been an animal. So when he says that, obviously it's outside still. So it
Mhm.
makes sense to me that maybe because at 147, I imagine that's because we kind of see the guy walk up and then the last thing he's covering up the camera. So I assume this is at 147. So once that camera is down, I mean, why would it detect someone at 212? So I think that the person at that point probably went around through the back and was able to access. They had so many doors to this house, especially in the back.
Mhm. So that's why I was thinking that that's would be the reason why they propped the door, right? In order to get back inside. But I just don't understand why they would leave to the front, which is weird to me. It's a weird story because why when they close the door back if they're leaving through the front unless they were rushing? Why would they keep the door prop
Well, okay, so I have a
they
theory for
didn't want to
that.
confuse
So
us.
let me tell you my theory for that.
Okay.
So the guy at 212, he goes around, he gets in through the back door. He has a walkie-talkie, right?
Hmm.
He props the door open for the next guy that's going to come in. And
Okay.
that guy just doesn't bother to remove the prop, and he just comes into the house. And I think they probably never bothered to go back through the back door. The back door probably was obsolete at that point because now it's grabbing her
And
and
leave.
getting her out of the front door. So here's what I think happened. When he got access to the back door, I think he hit the guy on the walkie-talkie and says, "Now bring the car up." Okay,
Hmm.
because it's impossible for him to get through the back door, go get a car. Who's controlling Nancy? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he probably calls the guy, say, and the guy pulls up. And I think that's why the camera from the front was taken because they needed to pull a car up front. And that camera would have said, oh, that's a red car. That looks like a Honda CRV or something like that. You see what I'm saying? And so once he gained access to the back, I think he called the second person. The second person pulled up and came around through the back door because the back door is propped open.
Hmm.
Once they both got in, there's some things that I heard when I was on the ground. I haven't heard it in the news. I don't even know if I should probably say it. But at any rate, I heard about when I was there, boots on the ground in Tucson. I heard that there was blood inside the front door, but I never heard it officially. Now they're starting. Now I'm starting to hear officially things that I heard boots on the ground. Another thing that I heard when I was out there, boots on the ground, is that a lamp had fallen right inside the front door. I haven't heard that at all since I was out there, but there was a lamp that was knocked down. So, how did that get out? I don't know, but it sounds like somebody would have been there, would have put that out. You know what I mean? Because I don't think the authorities would have. So once they get her out, this is my theory, right? If your nose is bleeding, let's say they punch her or whatever, right? Somebody punch you. If your nose is bleeding, I think it goes on the body. and then some go on the ground, right? What I think happened is, I think she probably, because in the video you see the guy, you see his tattoo, so he has open points.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, even an animal, when they feel like they're at their last limb, they're gonna attack. So I think she probably attacked with her hand, and in the scuffle, I think her left hand started bleeding,
Mm.
and that's why you see, if her left hand is bleeding, okay, if it's anything in her face, it goes on her body, right?
Yeah.
But if her left hand is down and bleeding, then you get the drips hitting the floor, and
Mm.
nobody's stepping on it because they probably are pulling her out by her right arm,
Okay.
guiding her to the car. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why you don't get any footprints, because her hand
It's
is
been,
bleeding. Anything higher is going to be on her clothes. You see what I'm
yes.
saying? Like
Any
like that
limb
don't make,
specifically.
unless they're carrying her, but
Mm-hmm.
then that don't make sense to me either.
Why does it
So
make sense? Them carrying her doesn't make sense. Two people carrying her out of the house doesn't make sense.
yeah, that don't make sense. For some reason, that doesn't. I think they were guiding her out by walking for some reason. I could be wrong,
Not screaming
but
or anything like that. Not make.
because the reason why people, let me explain. The reason why people are saying she's being carried, because they're thinking she's bleeding from her nose or her face or something. But again, I think it's the hand, and it's dripping, and it's probably because she tried to fight back in some way. I don't think, but these are just speculation. We don't know what really happened. You know.
Yeah.
But here's the reason why I'm saying it. Okay, you're carrying her. She's dripping, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you not walking on the blood? You see what I'm saying? So
Mm.
it seems like it's her
Dripping.
hand. It
Yeah.
seems like it's this hand, and maybe it's dripping along the way. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know.
Or a limb. It does have to be a hand. It could be a leg if they were carrying her and stuff like that. So anything that could actually drip. Yeah. I don't
Right.
know. What did the daughter say in the meeting? She was just talking about the blood. There was blood in the house. What did
She briefly mentioned the blood. She said the blood by the front door, and then she started getting emotional because she's thinking about her mother with all the blood. It's not a good thought, So she doesn't really break down, like online. You hear a lot of people talking about the droplets and what does it mean and all of that. You don't get that out of her.
Okay. Mm-mm-mm.
So when it comes to this particular case, I think in the
See that they reduced the staff
staff four.
for I think I saw an article that says that they went down from like 20 investigators to 11 or something like that. They reduced the staff, but they still said that they still are on the case, but it's not a cold case, but they reduced the staff.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I think they reduced the staff a long time ago. I don't think it's a whole lot happening when it comes to this case like what we originally saw. We saw so many people on the case. Now I think they reduced it down tremendously.
I don't think they I don't think they really care to find her.
Really?
Yeah. But I said
Right.
that several times before anyway.
Right. Some people feel like the blood was staged. What do you think about that?
I don't think so. I don't think it was staged. Why to do what? What's the impact? Just to scare the daughter to give money quicker? I don't think it's staged. I don't think that if when it comes to like I don't think when it comes to stuff like that that people will make mistakes like that intentionally. You know what I mean? It would have been easier to just to disappear her and leave no evidence. I don't think they intentionally left evidence there. I think they would have done everything they can to prevent it. Just by the fact that they had the way they tried to do away with the camera. I don't think it was intentional. What's the point of it being intentional? To scare the daughter and let the daughter think that there's no hope for her mom. I don't think so.
You know what? Also, the daughter said that, I think she said they took the mother in her pajamas and she was barefoot. They didn't even let her put her shoes on.
Wow. Yeah.
This is what the daughter was
But
saying. I
how
mean,
do? But I guess I mean she would. How would? And that's the thing. How would she know? How did would she know that they didn't get wrap her up in something, or they didn't have put something else on her? Like how did she know how they took the mother out? Is there a video that we don't know about? Or is there an assumption? How do they know? Did the kidnapper say that? Like you know what I'm saying? That's my question. You know, because if she was in bed, how do we know that they didn't grab her and wrap her up with a sheet and stuff like that to control her hand movements and stuff like that? How do we know, or what you know what I mean?
right? Yeah. You know, the weird thing about it, if you're taking a person as a kidnapping, wouldn't you want to take things to keep them comfortable, clothes, shoes, food, medicine?
That's exactly.
If
That's
you're
what
going to try to, preserve life and help them get back, and you get the money that you're trying to get, right?
Yeah, I mean, the like if you're gonna officially want to ransom them, if you would get certain things to get them comfortable, unless, especially if you're saying that they've been there for a long period of time. It's not that it was a snatch and grab; they were actually in the house for a while. You know what I mean? But I think some people think that unfortunately there's no hope, you know, in this case. So you know, so if that's the case, then they wouldn't care about all the extra stuff, you know. I'm hoping that that's not true. I'm hoping that I'm 100% wrong, and that she still, you know, could come home, but some people just don't think that that's the case anymore.
Right. So let's say, for instance, if someone was there just to rob her, what would be the purpose in taking the lady?
Rob, what the mom? I don't think the mom had enough for them to rob. I think they wanted to ransom her off, and then that's the reason why they wanted to do it. I'm
Well, what I'm
beginning.
saying, if you're going to ransom her, why would you just take her in her pajamas and her and barefoot? That doesn't make sense to me.
I know. I don't think that I don't think that she woke up and surprised them, right? So I think they did intentionally take her out of the house, right?
You know what really shook me about this case that's really been bothering me is something that Savannah said in this interview. She says, and I only know it because I've listened to all the details, especially going out there. But according to Savannah, and this has not said well with me. She says that after the police was at the house, then the sister called her and says, Mom is missing. She's gone. So you know what that means? The sheriff said initially during the press conference that someone called from the church and said that the mother didn't show up.
Hmm.
Okay, the sheriff says he has a discrepancy. One time he says at 11 a.m. the family contacted the police. Another time I think he said 11:47. So there's like a big gap there.
Yeah.
But at any rate, the family is either calling at 11 or 11:47, right, to say she's missing. So we are to assume at this point they've already at the property, they've discovered her, and they've called 911. Then the police come, and I think according to record, what the sheriff said at 12:15 or so,
Hmm.
that's when the officers show up. So all this time has gone by, and then after the police is there, she calls the sister and said, "Mom is missing." That didn't sit well with me. Wouldn't you call your sister right away? Like, Mom is missing. Wouldn't you, like, while you're calling 911, wouldn't the next call you be to your sibling saying, "Yo, Mom is missing. Where's she at? You know something?" So to me, like, when she said that, it kind of struck me as being very odd. That's all. Nothing deep about it.
Didn't she have dinner with the family so that they all knew that she went home that night? So if that's the case, then wouldn't they know that she was supposed to be home? That they wouldn't have called the sister right away? Because if she called, I know there's been some cases where people place calls before they call 911, and that's been questioned. You know, like why would you call the family instead of 911? What was that? Is are they in cahoots and stuff like that? They're coming up with their, you know, their alibi and stuff like that. So most people say that something happened and they call 911, and that's, you know, a legitimate case. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To
Oh,
answer your question, the night before, I think somewhere like around 5 o'clock, 4 or something, she caught a Uber over to the one daughter house with the son-in-law family. They had some sort of family get together,
okay.
and I think at around 9:48 or 9:58, I believe the garage door went up. So that's when they believe she was dropped off by the son-in-law.
Okay.
Initially, the sheriff didn't want to say. He kept saying, one time he said it was the kids. No, one time he said it was the family. The next press conference, he said it was the children. Then later we found out it was the son-in-law that dropped her off.
I
So
thought it was Uber.
there was a no, dropped her off at night at 9:58 was the son-in-law.
Okay.
The Uber took her from her home to the daughter's house.
But the
Okay.
son will drop her off. Okay.
Right. Okay. So, and the reason they know is because the garage door went up for 2 minutes.
Okay.
So 9:58, the garage door went up. 2 minutes later, on the hour, the garage door went down. Okay.
Okay.
In the press conference, one of the reporters asked the sheriff, "Did the family see her through?" I take it that they walked her in or whatever. I mean, they did not express that. But what does that mean, see her through? Because when I was there, boots on the ground, some of the neighbors said that she would come out to the mailbox and she would be struggling, and
Mhm.
she was walking with a cane. According to what I heard too, is that the cane was left behind. I heard it through one of the media outlets. So, according to the nighttime, the son-in-law dropped her off at around 9:58. The next morning, she was supposed to go have a Zoom meeting call with another church member, probably at their home.
Mhm.
She didn't show up. It wasn't like she was going to church. She was going to assemble with some of the, members of the church.
I thought she was leaving. Okay.
Okay, so when she didn't show up, they called to Annie and told her. I guess they went to the property to check on her, and they saw probably some things concerning. But what I'm saying is, they waited till after the police came to. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm just saying when I heard that, it
Okay.
just seemed a little bit off to me.
Okay. I would think that they would call 911 first, moms, and then call the sister. I don't know. Um,
Okay, but let's look at that. Okay, so the sheriff says, and he could have been wrong. He said that they called at 11. Another time he said 11:47. Let's take the 11:47 because the sheriff says that the police officers came, I think around 12:15.
mhm.
What I'm saying to you is, even if I don't call my sibling first, let's say I call 911, then the next call,
Would be to
right,
the family.
would be to the family member while the police is coming. You see what I'm
Of
saying?
course, of course, of course. So yeah, that's yeah,
So there's a delay there that made me question it. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. Why would they take so long to call the other sister and stuff like that?
Right.
Did they since the brother-in-law and I, a lot of people have indicated, but we don't want to go that far. Did they rule out the brother-in-law completely?
Well, the sheriff came forward and he said the family had been cleared. I don't think that that's totally legitimate. I mean, I don't think a sheriff has the ability to totally clear someone.
Okay.
But I think he did that to take the pressure off the family, which I could understand. But then there's another rumor saying that everybody in the family took a polygraph. But then I heard today that wasn't true either. So
Hmm.
you don't really know in regards to this case because people are just putting out misinformation or false information just for the heck of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is a long time though. I think this is going what on 3 months now.
Yeah, I think we're at day 50 or so.
That's a long time.
Right. But I think most people would call their family member like immediately, like, yo, mom is missing. I'm going crazy. I call it. And then, did you call the police? Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard her say that, that really hit me. I'm like, wow, that sounds a little bit off to me. But hey, it is what it is, I guess, right? Okay, so Freedom says today is 54. 54 days. I think Brian Koberger was caught on day 47.
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Well, I think that's enough of that. This seems like a subject that you are not gung ho over, so we're going to keep moving
No, no,
on.
it's not that I'm not gung ho. I listen to you every time you give an update, but until they give an update of exactly where they are in the case, because every time they talk, is either the daughter speaking and trying to compel the 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 kidnapper to release the mom. I haven't heard anything about them coming up with a ransom or trying to do a delivery drop and stuff like that. And the last thing I heard was that they reducing the investigator and they still investigating. So there's not much for me to actually see, and I don't want to listen to the daughter because it's triggering her pleading with them constantly when it's not doing anything. And my whole thing is, as far as the daughter pleading, I thought that the whole process was for them to prove that the mom was still alive so they could actually drop off the ransom. Whatever happened to that?
I don't think it was paid, and I think the reason being was because there was no proof of life given. So that's what I've heard about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm feeling. So if her saying, if there's no life proven, right, and she's constantly coming out and talking about it, then there's, until I hear something else happen, I'm not sure what else to take from the case. That's what I'm saying.
Right. This is definitely the case of the century, right?
Mm-hmm. And is a very sad case. Until I hear otherwise, I just don't know, unless they come to us and they say, okay, we have a plan. I mean, I don't even know how much information they would give, but unless she comes out and say, hey, we got proof of life and stuff like that, there's not much for us to do except for wait to see what the officers find, if they find anything at all.
Right. Right.
Because at the end of the day, she's not paying because there's no proof of life, right? So either the people are going to go away, right? Unfortunately, and we may never know what the situation is.
Right. So let me tell you about this lady.
Okay. She looked like
You
her.
Yeah, so she looks like Nancy. She went missing around the same time as Nancy. They
Yeah.
look alike, and
Yeah.
I think according to, I think it's like maybe 40 miles apart. And I think they're 4 years apart, but they went missing right pretty much off of Highway 10. When I was out there, there's a Highway 10.
Okay. So
Isn't
you
it
think
shock? Isn't it? Don't they look alike though,
they
right?
look exactly like, so you think it could be a serial?
I don't know. It's just something to look at, but
And what is the officers doing about this case?
you don't hear about it. You have to basically go and pull this case up to learn anything about it. But I just wanted to see what you thought about it.
Wow, they do look alike. That's crazy.
Right? Look like they could be sisters or twins, right?
Mhm.
When I first saw it, I thought it was just another picture of Nancy, but no, they look alike.
They look at, yeah, they do. So here's my question now: if there, because I saw somebody on the chat talking about how there are multiple I mean, multiple missing people in that area. Have anybody decided to look at other cases to see if there's other similar cases around the surrounding area? What do they look like?
I don't think so, but you never know.
Mm-mm-mm. Wow.
But I wanted to share this with you because when I saw this, I said, "Oh, here's another photo of Nancy." And then when I looked into it, I'm like, oh, this is not Nancy. This is the other
Right.
lady. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So let me just go through this for the sake of the lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Her name is Carolyn Cosper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nancy was missing for 53 days.
Okay.
Carolyn has been missing for 49 days. Okay.
So she got taken after Nancy.
Yeah. Yeah. She was
Wow.
taken after Nancy. And let's see what the bulletin, because you can't read it here. Let's see if I can. Okay, it says has requested the public help in locating 69-year-old Carolyn Cosper. Carolyn was last seen picking up her mail on February the 3rd, 2026. wow, Nancy went missing on the first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this lady that looked just like her went missing on February the 3rd in Ash Fork, Arizona. It's hard to read the small print. It says it's believed that she was at her residence on February the 4th in the Westwood Ranches, approximately 20 miles northwest of Ash Fork. Carolyn recently had heart surgery. Her and Nancy had heart problems. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Heart surgery and walks with a cane. Oh, shit. She walks with a cane. Her
Mm-mm.
vehicle has been accounted for. Same as Nancy. What in the world? It is believed that she is left on foot. Anyone with information should call, the feds. So weird, weird stuff, right?
It's very weird. I would, if it was me and I was interested in, I mean, really had time on the case, I would look to see other cases dating back to see if there's other similarities in cases.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I would
Definitely.
do. And then after that, just disconnect, see if they're connected by the hospital, connected by church. That's what I would actually do and stuff
Right.
like that.
And
Yeah.
you know what, too? The guy that went missing that I covered, his name is William Neal McCaslin. He
Mm-hmm.
went missing too on foot, right? They try to make it seem like it was an unalivement, maybe, and they just haven't discovered where he's at. But now you're starting to hear stories that he never even left home, but allegedly he left home on foot, went missing. He's a general that had all the background information about UFOs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right. No,
Huh.
neither one of these ladies, Nancy or
I'm about to
Carolyn,
say,
have been found. So they're both still missing.
now if they start connecting UFO into it, they're gonna say that they were abducted. But with Nancy, we saw a video of a guy on an actual guy on the video. So um, yeah, once you start going down that path, then people are gonna start using conspiracy and abduction everything in this.
Right. This is weird stuff, right? What can you do with all of this?
That is insane. I would see. So it was February. One was January. One was February. We haven't found. We March. No one has disappeared in March.
Not that I've heard of. Doesn't mean that it's not true. I think the guy that went missing in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I think he went missing almost like a month to the day of Nancy Guthrie.
Mm-mm. What does he look like? Can they be like brothers and sisters?
No, I wouldn't say that, but you know what? What's so weird? His home looks identical because I was at Nancy Guthrie's home.
Mm-hmm.
His home looked identical to Nancy Guthrie's, and it's in the foothills. It's in the desert. I mean, literally, if you were standing out in front of his house, you wouldn't probably be able to tell the difference if you were standing in front of Nancy's or his if you're not familiar with the area. That's how close it looks the same. So there's so many different similarities.
Wow. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, what do you say about that?
Did we look at the house of Caroline? Does Caroline house look like theirs?
I didn't really get a chance to hold on one second. I didn't get a chance to really check it out. But perhaps I'll try to pull it up.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if they have more in common. What's in common with them? You know?
Right. No,
Yeah,
you're right.
I would definitely start looking around to see if there's some similarities, and if there's some similarities, see who's connected with those similarities, because it could be a serial.
Could be, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, the guy that went missing, it was weird because I covered the Clintons, their deposition,
Yeah,
and he was kind of tied to this, I guess, in some way. And then all of a sudden, with the UFOs, they started talking about that. And then he comes up missing like 2 days later. So I think a lot of people are trying to say that's why people are trying to say it's somehow connected to that. We hear all these different stories.
yes. Wow. Mm, 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 mm.
So
Crazy. That's crazy. They look, even the haircut. That's insane. I need to see what the guy looked like and his home to see, if there's any similarity there, because that's insane to me.
yeah, very much so, right?
Hmm.
Yes, indeed, very much so. Let's see if I can find anything on his house. So what I'll do is next time I'll pull it up for you. I don't want to keep everybody hanging on. Um, let's see if I could find anything on his home. I'm going to show you real quick his picture.
Okay.
So that's him.
Okay. No, there's no similarity that I could see.
No.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. Okay.
Well, that's the guy that went missing.
Okay.
You could see that's his military photo. I'm going to play this. Maybe this will show the house. I think this is where I saw the house at. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, the plumber's fixing that burst pipe. We should be all set. Good thing you're protected 24/7 with your home and auto bundle from Progressive.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out the right caption to post about this.
Maybe something like, I have protection, just need a lifeguard.
What about that emoji with a shocked face?
Or maybe flooded with emotion.
That's too much. Try Tuesdays are cray.
You know, technically, you don't have to post everything that happens online. I totally believe you. Life is meaningless without affirmation, am I right?
We're following a new mystery tonight around the disappearance, and a bizarre one at that, of a retired U.S. Air Force Major General. His name is William McCasland, 68 years old, lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's now been missing for 2 weeks to the day. There's been a lot of misinformation about this story online, in part because McCasland used to work at Wright Air Force Base, which used to investigate UFOs. He also did some consulting for a group that promoted UFO research. His wife says that has nothing to do with it, saying, quote, "This connection is not a reason for someone to abduct Neil. Neil does not have any special knowledge about the ET bodies and debris from the Roswell crash." The FBI is now involved in trying to find him. And here's what we know. The sheriff says they believe McCasland likely left his home at some point in the 11 a.m. hour on February 27th. He left his phone, glasses, and wearable devices behind. But his handgun, a revolver, was missing from the home, along with his wallet and hiking boots. Joining me now, CNN law enforcement contributor and retired FBI special agent, Steve Moore. Steve, what a strange story. I mean, the wife says he doesn't have dementia. It's out of character for him to be away so long. Where do investigators even begin with this?
I think what this is going to be is a search rather than any kind of criminal investigation. There's no indication here that I've seen that there is any kind of criminal activity involved in this. And while the wife is very tongue-in-cheek, in a very tongue-in-cheek way, kind of poo-pooing any ideas that there was either UFO involvement or dementia or any issue like that, they haven't been very forthcoming in the medical condition that they say could be involved.
The phone is still at the house along with the glasses, but his wallet and his gun are apparently missing. I mean, what does the FBI do with that information?
It's just an additional piece of evidence that goes on. They'll probably go to profilers and say, would somebody leave the house that way? And if they did, what would be their state of mind likely? It is.
So you have military background. What do you think about this?
I mean, well, he's former, so I don't think that too much as far as his military background when it comes to what's happening with him. So I don't have any thoughts on that. He served his country, and he's very high-ranking military too. So I find that to be interesting.
Right. Absolutely. All right, let's finish this up.
It's strange that he wouldn't bring a phone, but would bring a gun. and he is not an elderly person, really. He may be of age, but he's not elderly. And had there been any kind of kidnapping, any kind of struggle, it would have left evidence of that.
How does the fact that he has significant military experience, does that factor into the investigation at all?
I think, Laura, where that factors in is that the FBI is coming aboard to help on this. There's I think there's a belief that he has served the country, and he may have information, classified information, regardless of where it's from. They just want to ensure that there is no possibility that there's criminal activity in here. And the FBI probably, not probably, the FBI has a lot of technology that would help find a person.
This home where he's left is next to the mountains, which with a lot of hiking trails. I wonder to what extent that makes it harder for the FBI to truly figure out even where to begin the search.
Yeah, it's immensely difficult. The only place you're going to find some kind of fingerprints, or I'm sorry, footprints in the area are going to be very close to the house. And if you can't pick up a scent or a trail from there, you don't even know which direction to go. And yes, you're absolutely right. The mountains create immense complications on this.
Mm.
So there you have it.
Yeah. I don't like the fact that they're trying to associate his disappearance with any type of like his level of what his level of not secrets, his
Security.
Thank you. His level of security. I don't like the fact that they're saying that, because it looked like they're making it into they're making it more conspiracy, as if someone could have took him like a country could have took him out of the country because he is to get information from him. You know what I mean? What information would he know at this late date? You know, what information would he know at this late date? So I don't know. I don't see it. Now, I would be more inclined to believe, since he left the house with everything except for his pew, that he may have deliberately taken steps to, remove himself from the world. That would lead me to believe that. And if he's in the mountain and everything like that, and he decided to do that, it could take people a long time to find him. You know what I mean? Because just said he left the house with just the pew and left everything else. That could lead me, unfortunately, to the thought that he went out there deliberately to, take himself out, unfortunately.
Okay, so here we have it. So her name is Carolyn Cosper.
Mm-hmm.
She was born October the 9th, 1956. I mean, she looks just like Nancy Guthrie. I mean, what is this all about? So she went missing on the 4th. Nancy Guthrie went missing on the 1st.
Wow.
And they're literally miles apart, They're not that far apart. Okay, just one. They were disconnected by one Highway 10. I mean, that's the connection. Highway 10, just at two different points, okay? She's 5'4". I don't know the height on Nancy Guthrie. She weighs 120. I believe they were trying to say Nancy Guthrie was around 140, roughly. Brown hair, okay, brown, gray, green eyes, okay, white, female. Went missing on February the 4th. Last seen, Westwood Ranches. Okay, I guess that's the location. Carolyn Casper, white female, 69 years of age, 5'4", 120 pounds, with gray and brown, green eyes, no clothing description, just like that's the same thing they said about Nancy Guthrie. No clothing description was given for Carolyn. Carolyn was last seen picking up her mail on February the 3rd in Ash Fork, Arizona. And it's believed that she was at her residence, same as Nancy Guthrie, on February the 4th in the Westwood Ranches, approximately 20 miles northwest. Okay, Carolyn Her vehicle has been accounted for, just like Nancy Guthrie, and it's believed that may have left the area of Westwood Ranches on foot. So unlike Nancy Guthrie,
She left on foot.
basically they're saying she went missing. When they say she went missing on foot, they just don't know how she went missing. That's what they're saying. She uses a cane to assist her in walking. Like, why would she go for a long walk?
Exactly. And the thing is that there's these houses have no like cameras or anything like that. That's why I find a lot of these residents are supposed to be like, unless they're very comfortable and they don't believe that any bad things will happen to them. A lot of these residents should have cameras and stuff like that. No?
Harley says they're the same height. See, I couldn't confirm that, but we're getting very close with similarities, right? Wow, that's something to think about.
I mean, it could be it could be somebody who has an issue with elderly women and who look for certain types. That's why I'm wondering if there's other cases like this recently. I think they should really look into it. Are there other cases like this? Is there any proof? I think they should look into it. Myself, I would, especially the similarity and the way they look. It's crazy. I'm surprised that no one tried to make the connection or say anything about that.
Yeah, that's what has me floored too. I'm not sure what this is all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second here. Let's see if we can get something going.
Okay.
The Coconino County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding a 69-year-old person, a 69-year-old woman who has not been seen now in 2 weeks. Carolyn Legaspi Cosper recently had heart surgery, walks with a cane, and was last seen picking up her mail in Ash Fork. She actually lives in a community called Westwood Ranches, 20 miles northwest of Ash Fork. Anyone with information on this should call the Coconino County Sheriff's Office.
Is it the same sheriff office that's looking into Miss Nancy?
No, different, much different. So, but not that far away. So, this is strange stuff. I don't know what to make of this anymore.
My whole thing is that I don't think they're looking hard enough. That's what I'm saying. And I hope that they get to it.
Yeah, I hope so too. All right, I know you seem like you just tired as they make them, so I'm gonna pull out, let you
I'm
get
tired.
your rest.
We're talking about some serious subject. This is
okay. No,
this is a very serious subject. We can't make light of it. I can't, be expressive and outrageous when it comes to something like this. This is horrific. And now we found out there's another person. I think the man himself, I don't think the man is involved. I think that if he left the house with a pew pew and walked out, I think that it was deliberate for him until we hear otherwise, because that's what really happened. Unfortunately for our military personnel, there are unfortunately large amount of military personnel, especially when they reach a certain age, they are not they decide to take matters into their own hands. So yeah, so that's the only thing I'm thinking about him. But them two, these women look way too close in prosperity, in area to not try to connect the two and figure out what the heck is going on with this. It's just way too close.
Way too close, right?
Way too close. And I'm not sure why. And no one else has came out and say that, hey, these women look so much alike and they would disappear within a month of each other, and they live in close. No one had came out and say, hey, what's going on with this case?
Yeah. Nancy went missing on the 1st. The other lady went missing on the 3rd.
That's crazy.
3 days.
And nobody's talking about this.
Same state and not that far apart. Like, what can you do with that, right?
That is nuts.
That's what I was.
You should go back. If you have time, you should go back. You just have to be careful and try to connect it for them, because apparently they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right. It says there's Nancy missing day 53, another senior missing 4 hours north. Okay, so it's 4 hours north. Straight shot up Highway 10 and 17 Freeway. Okay, so it's some distance, but they look so much. I guess it's just a coincidence, you know? Hmm.
We always say there's no such thing as coincidence, right? But the thing is, even if it is a coincidence, at least if it was me, I was running this, I would at least look into it and just tell everybody that there's no connection. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just ignore it, just instead of just ignoring it. You know?
Yeah, I've been forgetting to ask people to hit the like button, share, subscribe. Guys, thank
Yes,
you for all the
please help us
support.
reach
Thank you.
60,000
Thank you very much.
subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, for being here.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's time to call it quits tonight.
Yeah. So are you gonna go back and see if you can find out more information on Miss Caroline?
Yeah, definitely. I want to shed more light, but she
Yeah.
just went missing like that. It's so similar. Just had
Close.
heart surgery.
And I would actually see if they have heart surgery in the same facility. That's another thing. And I would actually see if there's another case even before, after women looking like that. That's what I would do.
Right. Yes, Stanley, she was acquitted. Kelsey Fitzsimmons. All right. Today, I didn't think. Yeah, absolutely. You're so right. But she was able to beat those charges. So she must be happy about that, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. Did you go back and see if they what she had to say since you talked about it? Is there any statement from her or her lawyer after the case? Or do you have a clip of the not guilty? Do you have any of that you could share?
No, I didn't really prepare
Okay.
to show that. But I'll gear it up. Maybe we can come back on and do a quick if you have something happening over the weekend or what have you.
Okay, I would love to hear that. 'Cause I'm gonna go back and see if I could look at the case now, and stuff like that. I think it's interesting. I want to see how it all played out because I was just watching it and with you at one day, but
Right. Okay. Very good. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thanks for all the likes, the shares, and the subscriptions.
thank you guys.
Be sure to turn on your notifications tomorrow at 3 o'clock. You definitely don't want to miss the show. I have a homicide detective coming on, investigator, top
Yeah.
lead. You're going to recognize her right off the bat. And we're going to be talking about Nancy Guthrie. I'll get to ask those tough questions. I'll be very much prepared because she knows and this is all she focuses on. So it'll be so amazing. Would you like to close us out tonight, Mama Flips?
Yes, thank you so much. I would like you to also bring up these two pictures to her tomorrow so that you could get a response from her about what you think about the proximity. I keep saying the wrong word of the two incidents to see what she thinks as far as them being related. It would be amazing. Thank you everybody for being here. Appreciate you guys. We ended on a pretty much sad note. This was a serious conversation, so I can't, be hype when we're talking about this. But thank you for being here. I am Mama Flip. Please follow me on Mama Flip Slots. I'm trying to get our subscribers over 10,000 subscribers. We play slots. Me and my mom, we play slots for hobby and entertainment. And you see me here every Thursday. So thank you for being here.
All right. Very good. Let's see. 226.
Thank you, Gold Digger.
Just give me 1 second. I want to look this up real quick.
Okay.
Somebody put in another person is missing. So
really in Phoenix?
I want to check it out. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's what we need to be doing, to be honest with you. Miss Allie, that's what we need to be doing. Like start connecting the dots. I think this would be a great project. Unfortunately, as sad as it is for Mel.
The only thing is, it's only on Facebook and Instagram. I don't see anything official.
Hmm. When people get, how it is with people, when they go missing, they don't take it as seriously as other crimes. It has to be the family that advocates for these victims, unfortunately.
Okay. I know we were closing the show, but give me 1 second.
Yes, please.
So let's see here.
She look kind of young.
Wow, she's missing out of Phoenix. What's up with the elderly ladies? What's going on?
Well, she looks younger. I can't see. Can we bring the picture closer, like on top?
No, that's it. This
You
is
don't
the
see
more.
that area on top where it has.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so she's missing. She went missing on February the 26th.
Wow.
Wow. Last seen at her residence.
All right. Last seen her resident. What time? I can't see everything, Mel.
Okay, let's see. She has a Ford Escape. They don't know what she was wearing. The last thing she was seen wearing. Okay. It says a neighbor went to her residence on Saturday the 28th and noticed that her 2021 Ford Escape was in the driveway. However, she did not answer the door and does her grocery shopping at Fry's Marketplace in Gilbert, Arizona. Okay, so she was just missing. Her car is there. What's going on? I mean, this is weird.
That's crazy.
What in the world? So I'm gonna have to add her to the list, man.
Definitely add her to the list. I wonder if that's her latest picture, if there's another picture of her that makes her closely resemble the other two ladies.
She's 77 years old. I think the other lady was 69 and Nancy is 84, right?
Wow.
Thank you to Miss Ali for sharing this. This is all within the same vicinity. You know, it's so strange, right?
I'm telling you, now it's beginning to look like a serial. It really is. And I'm surprised that they are not paying attention to this, the connections. What the hell is happening right now?
Yeah, it's some weird stuff, right?
Yep.
Not sure. Let's see. Her height is 5 foot. Wait, she's 5'4" too.
This is weird. Okay, now this is getting scary.
All three of these ladies were 5'4".
Elderly. We don't know if she wears a cane or she had any operations or anything like that, or she's disabled. We don't know any of that yet.
No, it doesn't say. Not for her. Wow, this is something to think about. So this is number 3. Very similar.
I think we need to start creating some type of profile, Mel.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. So I was supposed to be ending the show, but thank you for sharing that.
Anybody else who have more information as far as missing individuals, especially women of that age and height, please send it to Mel. Wow.
Yes, 5'4". Wow, that's something. All right, so go ahead and close out the show.
Thank you so much. Someone wanted to do a prayer. I don't do the prayers though, because I'm not a Christian, but I appreciate the acts. And I just want to say thank you for everybody for being here. I wish everybody the best for the rest of the week. And we'll see you next Thursday, God willing.
All right. Thank you.
Different voices, but the same song. Building a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the thing remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world share in love and light. Hearts beat as one in our peaceful flight. United we stand in love's pure might.